So I hope you guys have had a great week. And so we're going to do where you are, where you're headed, what you need to know, and then the next love interests in the other deck for Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. It doesn't mean you want them, okay? It just means it's the next person that's interested in you romantically. And that'll be timestamped in the description box below. So Pisces, what's really interesting about this card today is it doesn't feel as forlorn as it would usually. It's the Nine of Swords, the Nightmare card, right? So it's almost like you may have been mourning something, but I feel like either you see it differently. It's almost like the weight just seems to lift almost very suddenly. It just feels like all of a sudden it doesn't feel that heavy. All of a sudden it doesn't feel like that big of a deal. And it's not that it's not a big deal, okay? It just feels like there's something about the weight of it that it's like if you were in this energy and you were, crying in bed, I'm not saying that you were, but if you were, it's like you may have been, like the full body sobs, right? And then all of a sudden it's almost like you forget what you were crying about. That's how suddenly it seems to lift, and it's almost like you end up smiling into your hands instead of crying. I don't really understand. Hold on. Hanged Man. Different perspective, Beth. Like, Tarot's asking me if it stuttered. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude about people who stutter. I mean, obviously it's a different perspective. So I feel like you let go of something here. It feels like it's almost like something that you wanted to hold on to for a long time. Hold on. It almost feels like you realize you just didn't, you maybe didn't want it in the first place. You know what I mean? It's almost like it didn't fit with your, maybe you wanted it when you were going for it, but it doesn't actually fit your long-term plan. It would have been more of a hindrance than anything. I feel like you're going to get this kind of information or perspective in a really strange way. Well, not strange, but it's like you're going to be hearing someone on TV and like maybe just in a regular, TV show. And they're, they've got some sort of speech that they're going on about, and it's almost like they're speaking directly to you in that moment, right? It's like it's exactly what you need to hear. Or it's that energy of like maybe a little kid will come up to you and say something completely unrelated to it, but it's almost like it just seems to pop the balloon for you, right? It's almost like, holy, I can't, it's almost a little bit mind-blowing how it's almost like how much different your brain feels. You know what I mean? Because it feels like there's a lot of fog and a lot of this, and it's almost like somebody stuck a vacuum to the side of the room and pulled all the fog out and you could see everything clearly. So where is Pisces headed? Where are single Pisces headed in the I was going to say March, in the month of March 2023? Where's Pisces headed? Okay. And what do they need to know? Page of Cups. So I actually feel like you may be moving out of this energy and into an energy where it's almost like, well, what now? You know what I mean? I feel like you seem to have an opportunity that's coming towards you that feels like it's significantly less. It's almost the energy of like someone that has lost their job that paid really well. And I feel like, and you're being offered a job that's, it's almost like it may be in terms of, you know, how many people you're supervising or where your position is in the company, it may kind of be going down. But I actually feel like it's almost like it seems to kind of open a door for you. For example, it could be like that it's a role with less responsibility, but it pays about the same. Or it's like the pay and the benefits kind of equal out to the same as this other really high stress job that, you know, put you in this energy. I do kind of feel like there's this, it's almost like you know what you truly want, but it's almost like it's not the logical decision, right? It feels like I almost feel like you know exactly what choice you're going to make. It's almost like you just need a hot minute to either make peace with it yourself or kind of brace yourself for, um, you know, people kind of being critical of that choice. Hold on for a second. I'm just looking at which clarifier deck we're going to use. Okay. Nope, that's not the right one. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let me get a clarifier for Pisces. Oh, so we got the Knight of Cups here to clarify the Two of Pentacles. It almost feels like somebody that you knew in the past is offering you that job, right? So it's, and it may not be, you know, the actual situation. So please, excuse me, apply it to your situation as it resonates. I feel like what may be one of the things that may be holding you back from making the decision and kind of going for it is it seems like it might be, it's almost like it's a little bit messy, but I feel like you know that it's a better opportunity. There just seems to be a little bit of a, like, it's almost like maybe the person that's offering you that role was romantically interested in you in the past, or the two of you have some sort of history. And I feel like you're looking at it like, oh, is that worth the risk? Is it worth it? Oh, I'm not sure. And I feel like you know exactly what your heart wants. It just feels like it feels to a certain extent that you are really concerned, genuinely concerned about making that choice, because it feels like this isn't, you know, a small decision that you're making. It's going to impact your life one way or another. And I feel like it feels like, okay, you know what? Can we get a card for some advice on that? Oh, okay. So, here's what I'm feeling. Depending on what choice you make, okay, and I'm not going to pull cards for what decision you should make, because that's it. This is your life, right? And I don't take the readings lightly, because like this this is your life, right? So I feel like there seems to be a message here that going into this opportunity, it's almost like even if you know more than the person who gave you the opportunity, it's like don't overpower them. I think there was a thing that, funnily enough, I think it was 50 Cent that said it about Eminem, that like you don't ever kind of like try to overpower or overtalk your mentor, right? So it's like if you did choose to go for it, I feel like it's really important that you, not that you know, can never contradict this person and you can't speak your mind and all that sort of stuff. It actually just feels more that it's important that you, if this person is trying to kind of pave a way for you, to let them, pave that way and go first. It's like, for example, if the two of you are in a jungle and they have that big, I guess, machete that they cut all the brush back, it's like, obviously that person should be going in front of you if that's not something that you have, right? You're not going to be able to cut all those branches back if you don't have the tools that you need. And I feel like this person may be coming in. They seem to be coming across with an energy that's actually a lot less intrusive than they have the capability and intelligence and skill level to do. So I actually feel like this person seems to, it's like when people start, I feel like they come across as unimposing at first because they want to weed out people who really want to learn. And I feel like they seem to, like, maybe in a romantic way, maybe just in a work-related way, but whatever it is, you really caught their eye. It feels like the kind of person that if somebody asked them why they hired you, they really do see something special in you. You know what I mean? It's like you don't seem to walk around with an air of superiority. You don't have this, like, almost this insecurity that makes you need to act like you already know everything, because they're looking for someone that they can teach. So I feel like there's a message here that if you choose to do this, it doesn't mean that you're, placating them or chasing after somebody like a, puppy or whatever, but it does mean that I feel like this person could really help you. But I feel like they don't help everybody. They don't do that for just anybody, right? It's like there has to be a certain type of quality about the person that they're going to mentor. And I feel like what you need to know here is actually this person has been in your shoes to a certain extent in the past. So it's like, not that you would, okay, but I'm going to encourage you to walk in there with a genuine want to kind of like to learn and to be mentored, right? Because I feel like this person, if, for example, you were to go in and kind of fake being in that like student energy, like that wanting to learn sort of energy, I feel like this person would pick up on it. And it's almost like they may try to feel it out for a little bit to see if it's genuine. But it's almost like as soon as they see that it's not, I feel like they would just kind of let you fall flat on your face. If that's not the case, if you do genuinely want to learn and you really do want to be there, I feel like this person is somebody that they feel like a very powerful ally in that situation. So we're going to get the next love interest for Pisces Sun. Pisces Sun. Damn. So we got the Two of Cups here, which, I mean, hold on, I'm not sure which one you are. 1 second here. I feel like this person is really, really different from you. Maybe they're not different in like how the two of you act when it's just the two of you. But if you're an introvert and maybe a little bit more quiet, this person's really outgoing. Or, if you're super outgoing, this person's really quiet. And yes, Pisces can be outgoing. If there's a cross-watcher out there thinking any different. Sorry. I feel like it's almost like I'm hearing remote viewing. There's something going on here and I'm not too sure what it is. 1 second. it feels like it's not that it's going to blindside you, but it does feel like it kind of comes out of the blue. It feels like an energy that it's like you are so much in an energy that you're not expecting it, that it's almost like you might not get it at first, that that's what they're looking for. You know what I mean? It's almost the energy of somebody that's like doing their thing, taking care of business, so on and so forth. And somebody comes in and you know, maybe they're hitting on you or they're asking you out, or I don't know, whatever people do nowadays. And I feel like it doesn't register at first. It's almost this energy of like, wait a second, wait, I don't think I got that. You know what I mean? It just feels like this. And it's not that you don't get things. I mean, you're, you know, the most intuitive sign. It just feels, it's almost peculiar or a little bit strange that this person's interested in you. I feel like you're not their usual type. And that makes you give them a little bit of side eye, like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like maybe if they have a specific type, and you, I mean, obviously you would know about it. And it's almost like you seem to be very, very different from their type. And I feel like it does, not that it's making you like overly cautious or anything, but it does kind of make you question it a little bit. Can we get a clarifier here? Just going to make sure that's all upright. Okay. Oh, yep. Oh, we do have the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So we got the Queen of Wands and the, sorry, the cord to my mic keeps getting stuck, with the Nine of Wands. So I feel like this person, I feel like you have a hard time trusting it. I'm going to be honest. I feel like it's like you see what could be built and it feels like they're being authentic, but I do feel that you're a little bit suspicious. It feels like it's somebody that it's almost like, for example, let's say I'm hearing like, this might be very specific. It's almost like a line dancing bar or something. But anyway, I feel like you are in, you know, restaurant, bar, what have you. And it's almost like the person that everyone has been kind of clamoring after all night, or like everybody wanted to dance with. It's almost like they come over and kind of pick you out of the crowd. And it's not, you know, that you think you're not worthy or not attractive enough. I just feel like they were with a different group. So it's almost like anyone would assume that this person doesn't see them, right? So it's like you're not the only person that was, you know, just kind of like enjoying the fun and laughter of it all, but not really expecting it. It's that kind of an energy. And I feel like you're looking at them like, this is suspicious. I do feel that you give this person a chance, and I feel like if they try to progress it too quickly, it seems to be a signal to you that they are only in it for the physical. I don't actually feel that that's it. I do feel that the physical is a pretty big part of it, and it feels like the kind of situation that that it's like the longer that the physical is kind of not avoided, but held off on, it's like it's almost like if this person gets physical with, you know, with someone too quickly, the love dies for them. So for those of you with your moon in Pisces, next, I think that's the Seven of Swords. Yep. Like, oh, then we have the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I'm just going to put that to the side here. So I almost want to say like, who's this jerk? But I'm being presumptuous, right? I feel like, well, you're kind of in this energy of balancing things out and making this choice. I feel like this person is over here. Just, I mean, obviously they're doing something they're not supposed to. I feel like this person's a bit of a troublemaker. It feels like there's somebody that is, it's almost like, I know that they're, slinking off, like they don't want anyone to see them, but the fact that they're looking back and the kind of, I'm kind of getting this vibe that it's like this person wants to screw people over, but only so they can have an interaction with that person. It's like taking those 5 swords isn't the point. They don't want the swords. They want somebody to chase them and take the swords back. You know what I mean? It's like bad attention is better than no attention at all. And it's like, that's why they're kind of holding them the way that they are and looking back almost defiantly, kind of waiting to make eye contact with somebody to make sure that someone sees them. It's almost like they enjoy the thrill of being chased, if that makes sense. So I was asking, like, how does this factor into Pisces lives? We have the Tower. So hold on for a second. I'm just going to sit with the card for a minute. You know what? I feel like you're going to run into this person. Maybe they're pulling a stunt like this at the time, but it's almost like you seem to be in a really tough spot when you run into them. And I feel like you may see a side of this person that most people don't. It feels very compassionate, very caring. It's like because they feel they have to fight for attention in the way that they do, it just feels like there's something here. Hold on for a second. Just a second, guys. It feels like the kind of energy where it's almost like the, proverbial shiz may be hitting the wall. I feel for you. And it's almost like this person seems to feel like a total heel. It's almost like if, for example, some of these swords they were stealing from you, and it's like, and you have this kind of really big reaction, it's almost like it's the first time they felt bad. It's the first time they've felt like really compassionate towards and empathy towards the person that they're stealing from. I'm feeling for others of you that you may meet this person when they are fresh out of it feels like something, I don't want to be foreboding, okay? But I feel like something is kind of about to either fall apart or kind of hit this person. It's almost like in those older cartoons when I was young anyway. Like, Bugs Bunny and Tweety or something. It's like this person is walking along thinking they're stealing something and a piano's about to, or like an anvil or something, right? It's about to come down. It's almost like because they're not paying attention to where they're going. It's like they're not walking away because they want to walk away. They're walking away because they want someone to pull them back. It feels like the needs of this person, if you were, to be involved with them in a relationship, because of course, this doesn't mean this is their, whole personality. But anyway, I feel like if you were to get into friendship, relationship, whatever with this person, it's like they just do one self-destructive thing after another. It's just constant, constant, constant. And I feel like it feels like it's something that you kind of have to block out. It's almost like they don't care how self-destructive they're being as long as they're getting the attention. And I feel if you do get involved with this person, it feels like it's somebody that you end up kind of having to insulate yourself. Like, yeah, look at this. Ooh, it feels like it's can't even hold the cards now. It almost feels like being around this person causes a lot of clutter in your mind. I almost want to say, I feel like to a certain extent, this person eventually lands on their feet. It just feels like you're not really a part of it. And not because you do anything wrong or, you know, blah, blah, blah. It just feels like you kind of end up almost, whether you want to or not, leaving this person behind, because the self-destructive thing, it's almost like even if you were romantically involved and then you saw that and you had to pull back and be their friend, it's like you kind of just can't watch somebody actively destroy their life that way. I do feel like they end up kind of, you know, for lack of a better word, like getting it, like seeing what they're doing. I feel like it may be a hard transition for them. But I do feel in the long run that they do kind of end up seeing what they're doing to themselves here. So for those of you with a Pisces rising, ooh, Queen of Cups. Sorry. I think Aquarius, Venus and Aquarius got Queen of Cups. Anyway, for those of you with a Pisces rising, the next person is the Queen of Cups. Okay. I'm sorry to say this. I feel like this is somebody that's really focused on a past love. I feel like they do kind of, it's almost like they know they should come towards you, but it's like they may be saying things to themselves about being focused on this past person. Like, oh, the heart wants what the heart wants and blah, blah, blah. Right. But it's like, it's that energy of, just because you want something doesn't mean it's good for you. And it doesn't even mean that the person that they're focused on is a bad person, right? And I'm not going to pull into that either. It's that the dynamic between this person and their past person is really unhealthy. I feel it's almost the energy of somebody that wants a very, very, very close, connected, intertwined sort of connection. And the person they were with was more like they were looking for something that was a little bit more detached. And I feel like the more this person pursued the other one, the more, I want to say the more they pulled back, but I feel like it never changed anything. It doesn't feel like that person pulled back, but they didn't lean into it either. And I feel like your person here, or, you know, this person that's interested in you, it seems like they tried kind of everything to change the situation. But I mean, and obviously they weren't able to. And I feel like now they're trying to get clarity. Maybe they're spiritual, but it's almost like they're trying to look into their crystal ball is what I'm hearing. Looking for, like, was there something else I needed to do to make this happen? And I'm going to be honest, I feel like eventually, you know, kind of imagining this person sitting in this, on this throne, I feel like eventually this person, it's like they stare at this cup for so long, they kind of end up hating it and they just like, oh, screw it. And they just kind of throw it to the side. And then they have that thing where they sit there and they look around like, what now? Not what now in a bad way, right? But I do feel like this person leaves this behind. For some of you, they may leave it behind too late for you to be involved with them, for you to really want anything with them. I feel for a lot of you that it's kind of like, it's great that they're interested now, but if I feel like whatever kind of romantic possibility between the two of you, I feel like it's kind of, that flame has gone out on your end. I feel for some of you, you may kind of give it a go just to see, because there was something there at one point. And I feel like I'm not telling you to feel this way, okay? This is kind of what I'm seeing from you. I feel like you just kind of end up seeing it as a bit more, it's almost like it's a bit more trouble than it's worth. You're busy needing to make these decisions and kind of doing what you're doing. And it just feels like, this is the kind of relationship that would never really go anywhere. And maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But I'm kind of seeing that that's how you're seeing it. It's almost like you kind of don't like, if you know about the dynamic between this person and their past person, it's like that seems to be a huge turnoff for you. I feel like that's kind of the deal breaker. You know what I mean? It's almost like when you find out the reason it took them so long is because they were doing whatever. It's like they might even, have the lack of foresight to tell you that that's what they were doing. But whatever it is, you figure it out. You are Pisces, right? And I feel like it's almost like if the feelings that you had for them were a really bright, shining light, that it's like you turn the light off, you unplug it, you pull it out of the, you know what I mean? And you put it out on the side of the road for the trash. I feel like it's a huge turnoff. So for those of you with your Venus in Pisces. Venus in Pisces. Nine of Pentacles. Ooh, that's interesting. With the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So, I feel like this person, they feel really good. They feel like somebody that, the Knight of Pentacles is that kind of pre-Empress energy. And it's not about, pre-female energy. Okay. That's kind of not what the tarot goes for. It's more about energetics of it. I feel like this is somebody that really has it themselves together. It doesn't mean they have everything that they could ever possibly need just yet, but they are somebody that it's like anybody who looks at this person knows that one way or another, this one's going to get there. And it doesn't even feel like they're, a go-getter, like they're kicking down doors to get into places. I feel like this is just somebody that there's a certain class, elegance, almost, or like distinguished refinement. You know what I mean? It's like this is the kind of person that would show up for an interview at, maybe at a fast food restaurant in like a three-piece suit or decked out in a full, like they're going to a ball. Like there's just something about them that screams that they are going places. And what I absolutely love about this person is it's like they know that, but I feel like they also seem to know that something like that, or, they're not leaning on it. They're not cocky about it. They seem to be actually quite humble. It's like if somebody was to ask them like, hey, how did you get to where you are? I feel like they would be more than happy to, share their secrets, because I feel like this person isn't the kind of one that feels they have to keep everything for themselves. Maybe they're really into the law of attraction, but I feel like it's like their personal philosophy is there's more than enough of everything to go around for everybody. They don't feel like they have to hold on to it. And I feel like that may be where this real sense of humility comes from, because it's like, I feel like they know that their life could have gone very different. And I feel like that's what they know. What I'm actually feeling, and maybe I'm falling into the same trap of the people that are around them, it just kind of feels like this person, it's like they just seem to be, I don't know how else to say it, really refined. It's like they're high class or whatever, but in the same light, they don't judge other people. They don't have their nose up in the air. Let's say, for example, this person doesn't swear, and they may make a point to not do so, but they also don't have a problem if other people swear, right? It's like they're going to do what they're going to do, and they don't need anybody else to validate it. They don't need anybody to follow it. It's just who they are. And this really open and accepting and non-judgmental, non-judgmental attitude, or it doesn't feel like it's an attitude. It feels like it's just who they are. You know what I mean? There's something about it that it's almost like, does this person radiate love? Like, I can't quite feel into it, but I feel like people seem to be really drawn to this person. And it's almost like, I feel like a lot of people admire them. I feel like a lot of people, when they kind of go get to know this person, it's almost like people would be more than happy to help them. But it's almost like, because they're so capable and they're so, and they work so hard, I feel like when people come in to help them, they've already done it. And I feel like that seems to draw a lot of admiration. I do feel to a certain extent, though, that it makes this person seem like they're kind of unreachable. It's almost that kind of person that, like, they do so freaking much with their life. I know I'm sour and resentful here, but I'm not. I feel like this is the kind of person that they seem to do so much with their life, and they're so productive, and they just seem to have this way about them that it almost feels like they're kind of unrelatable. You know what I mean? It's almost like they're too accomplished, or like, I feel like this person, if they weren't who they are, it would feel like a lonely existence, because I feel like a certain crowd of people would feel like this person would be unrelatable. And I feel like the other crowd of people would look down on this person for working as hard as they do. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's almost like they kind of don't fit in any specific, socioeconomic class. It's almost like they're kind of building a class of their own, if that makes sense. And because they have this just gorgeous energy coming off of them, it's like all are welcome. You know what I mean? It's like, where is this person, and do they need a friend? Like, are they taking applications? It just feels like they have this really gorgeous energy. And I feel like at first you may be like, oh yeah, okay, that person's there. But I don't feel like you actually do anything about it initially, because you have something else going on. But it feels to a certain extent that, like, your lives just kind of seem to run parallel for a little while. And I almost feel, hold on for a second. It feels like the kind of energy, hold on. I feel like there's something that you see, like it could be like a specific kind of bird or something, but there's something that you see when you're out that reminds you of them. And from what I'm seeing here, I feel like this person is really drawn to you. They are romantically interested in you, because that same acceptance that they give to everybody else, they don't feel that. And they feel with you that they would have that. It's like they want someone to be as loving and supportive and accepting of them as they are of other people. And they seem to see that in you. I do want to say, I feel like this person does hold back a little bit, because they do have a little bit of an assumption here that it's almost like they may have been on their own for so long that, how do I say this? And have had such a hard time making connections with people, because they're like this smorgasbord of, different classes or different kind of groups, I guess you could say. I don't know how else to describe it. But I'm sure you understand what I mean. I feel like they don't feel like anybody really gets them. And they seem to see you as somebody that is as, you guys are a mutable sign. It's almost like as fluid as they are. as I want to say like morphable, but that's not the one. I don't think that's a word. Somebody that can kind of morph into these different, like somebody that can kind of connect to all of these different groups, but also is strong enough to not let those groups change them internally. So I think I'll leave it there, Pisces. If this reading resonated, I hope it was helpful. If you made it to the end of the reading, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I have of course, the weekly love reads, the mini love reads coming out on Sunday. And then next Thursday will be a little bit of a different read. So please keep an eye out for that if you're so inclined. And we'll see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.